Hey guys, so today we're gonna discuss my surgery that I had recently. Originally, we were gonna show you guys a vlog of this, but we're gonna today talk about both points of view from that day. Basically, he's gonna kind of talk about how it made him feel, things like that, and I'm gonna talk about how surgery was and what the surgery was. And towards the end, I'm going to show you guys a really funny video of me coming out of surgery. So I'm going to go ahead and let Austin explain how it made him feel.
During most of her surgeries, it's a very scary thing for me, mainly because the first surgery she's ever had was your left knee, your right knee. And that was the first time I don't know, was that the first time you realized you had anesthesia problems? Or, yeah. None of us knew about her anesthesia problems, which wasn't a good thing, because apparently it can affect POTS, wasn't it? That affects?
It affects EDS and
Yeah.
it could affect POTS.
But during that first surgery, I almost lost her. I didn't even know because her mom, whoever there, wasn't even telling me. I didn't know almost until she got out because her mom refused to tell me about the complications that were there. So ever since then, I've had any problems with her having any sort of anesthesia or any surgery at all because of the fact that puts her more at risk for her to die on me. Technically, any day she could die on me, but during surgeries, it's a lot more complicated and it's definitely higher risk for me. So really, it makes me feel a lot worse because I gotta constantly think if she's still there because sometimes her surgery lasts a little longer than what she says it does. That also gets me worried. This surgery wasn't too bad, I guess, because mainly it was a shorter one. Even though there are shorter ones that I did freak out on a lot. Also, this was also a worse one because there was a new hospital she went to. Because you didn't have the same team for this one, right?
The only thing that was the same was my surgeon.
Yeah. So it was also definitely worse having that happen at the same time. But this surgery wasn't the worst. The worst surgeries I think I ever had was the second two after I realized that she could be gone from me. But this one wasn't too bad. I am glad for that. So obviously she's still here, and the knee's very messed up.
I think over time you're starting to get kind of like
Well, I'm more used to it
because
yes.
it was the right knee that was the first one, and then it was left shoulder and left hip. Left hip had you crying.
Yes,
Because on top of that, a tornado hit the building.
Exactly, that's it. Yeah.
And then it was the left shoulder again, and then I had GJ surgery, which was my most major surgery,
Yeah.
but it didn't get that bad.
Because it was really not that long. It was like.
It wasn't long. You were also at school. You were a little bit distracted. With the left knee, I had to do a nerve block first, and then go into surgery. The nerve block, I was back there for like 45 minutes. And then surgery was like 2 hours, and then I was in recovery, which I should have been in recovery for 30, but I was in recovery for a whole hour. I didn't get to leave until about 15 minutes after I got rolled back to my original room, just so they could get the discharge papers and everything. So I was there for approximately 3 hours, starting the time of the nerve block. But in total, I had been there for about around 6 hours because of having to get there and get registered in and everything. And like he was saying, with like anesthesia affecting, I have a couple of issues as we've talked about before. The anesthesia can affect Ehlers-Danlos, and at the time, that's all we knew that it could affect. We didn't know what could happen or anything like that. But like you mentioned earlier with POTS, now that we know POTS, we know it can affect that as well, because if the heart rate is affected, then POTS is affected. But I was gonna have a tibial tubercle osteotomy, which is where they basically break the bone and move some stuff over, and I was gonna have an MPFL reconstruction. But I wound up having a medial plicantation MPFL reconstruction using donor ligament, so an allograft, and patellar stabilization. So the medial plicantation was basically where they just kind of moved some stuff over, cleaned up cartilage, stuff like that. With the MPFL reconstruction, they took out my MPFL basically because it was torn. Took a donor, so like somebody from like a cadaver, so a dead person, whatever. Took theirs and kind of screwed it in. It has 2 access points where it was screwed in. And then of course the patella was moved over and screwed into place. That's where it was stabilized. So I've got a couple scars. I've got one pretty long one. And swelling is just now starting to go down. I've been in therapy for a week now.
Doesn't feel like a week.
I started therapy last week on Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
Today is 2 weeks and 2 days post-op, so I'm slowly getting there.
That's not what you said in the first place.
What?
No, you said in the first place when you first woke up from anesthesia, you didn't say post-op.
I said post.
Mm-hmm.
Aha. Okay, stop.
Yeah.
I just caught on. Okay. I've got to show you guys a video later. But, anyways, I've been kind of struggling. The first week was extremely hard. I was crying constantly. I wasn't even given a muscle relaxer for after surgery because they handed us the prescription for the narcotic pain med, but not the muscle relaxer, so we had to call a day later and finally get that. The dressing that I had on under the brace originally cut off my circulation, so that didn't help either. And then it got to the point where I couldn't even really move in bed. Now I can kind of get myself up a little bit. I'm still non-weight bearing on crutches. I'm still locked straight in my brace. I can't get back up in my bed or anything like that though, and I'm still depending on like my mom and my dad and of course Austin for help. Coming out of surgery, this is how it looked. So like I said, that was the dressing and everything. Now you can just see the brace and like the scars. I'm not going to show that right now. Although if I did, I would of course turn on it for you guys. But unless Austin has something else to say, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this video.
No, I'm just intrigued to see this again.
I came out of surgery, and this was when we originally were going to do a vlog for you guys. And I picked up my phone, and I went to record to tell you guys, like, hey, I'm out of surgery and everything. And that didn't go as planned at all. I'm going to try to... Hold on. Okay. If anybody wants to explain what pre-stop means, please let us know in the comments, because apparently pre-stop is something. I know there's pre-op, post-op, but apparently I just mixed the two together and came up with pre-stop. So that happened.
That's where they have to stop your surgery. That's one.
Yes. It's before they stop it.
Exactly.
Yes. But we're sorry that the video did not actually go as planned. Originally, we were going to post a surgery vlog on the 14th, which would have been 1 week post-op. Had computer issues, which we discovered weren't even really computer issues, and instead it was something that could have easily been fixed.
Yeah.
But because of the length of the video and the way we did the video, we weren't able to do that video. And so we had to switch it to a story time. But we will eventually have more story times later on. As we will continue to have vlogs. Just because we couldn't do that vlog doesn't mean we're not going to be able to do any. We have found a way around to being able to still continue to do vlogs.
Yeah. I just think I think it probably originally has to be near each other. I think it can't be separately.
If it is separately, it'll have to be like when I have my camera, which I'm hoping to get soon. Otherwise, vlogs would start, like if Austin's coming to get me and he goes ahead and start it, it's going to start without me completely. Or if they're strictly on my phone and it's just me, then of course, that's easy. But the program that we use, you can't really mix phone and camera together, so we got a second program which won't take the video after it's so long. So to be able to use our program that we usually use and it works fine, we're going to have to use strictly camera. So there's that. But we will continue to be able to give you guys some videos and definitely some vlogs.
Just we're going to have to figure those out easier.
Well,
we don't mess them up.
It's not necessarily to figure them out easier, but like I said, it's just like if Austin goes ahead and starts it without getting to me, he's going to have to start it by himself, or vice versa, until I get my camera. And once I get my camera,
that should work.
We can do the separates like we used to, because obviously it'll be 2 different cameras.
I just don't understand why the first one accepted it, though.
Probably only.
Maybe.
Yeah, do you have anything else you want to say? I guess we'll end this story time here.
Okay.